Board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games, board games. I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this morning with a little bit of streaming. I am starting off my streaming with a little bit of singing. And here I am on my own. It's been a while since I've been on my own. I'm gonna talk about, I think, I'm gonna talk about how I am and making a manifesto. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. Board games, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, good morning, evening. Sorry about that. Good morning, evening, afternoon, nighttime, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I hope you're generally well. Yes, I'm a wee bit under the weather, but generally I am good. Yeah, I am It's his bedtime in some places, and I'm blethering about board games. Oh, that was a sudden jump in people. So yeah, busy bedtime board game bladder, manifesto check-in. Oh my gosh, like I'm not doing very well this past week. Yeah, like headaches and sore throats. But coming up today, it is going to be about a manifesto checking in. It's going to be about me talking about what maybe I want to do, why I'm doing these things. I guess that's what a manifesto is. It's kind of like why I'm doing these things, what I plan to do. And this isn't meant to be like, hey, this is my manifesto, lay it all down, like 10 Commandments or anything like that. This is meant to be like a bit of a conversation and me just starting off the pondering. You know how it is, like it's a bit of a blether. And good morning, Alan. And the curtain says hello as well. Anyway, so I'm going to check in with myself. I'm going to tell you how I'm doing. I'm going to check in with you. And that's the most important bit. I really feel like I really want to hear from you. Like, what have I been doing well, but also what have I been doing badly? As long as it's respectful, feel free to criticize me. I am totally down for that. So, yeah, that is what we're having today. But to start it all off, we are going to be talking about a brilliant thing. Brilliant thing was a little thing which is brilliant. Yeah, I can't remember if I've talked about books. I feel like, there should be a list or something. Like, we should, yeah, does it even matter if I talk about the same thing again multiple times? You know what? I'm going to talk about key tags. I'm going to talk about keys, actually, just keys. I don't think I've ever talked about keys. Keys are pretty cool. Here's the key for, a bike lock. Here's another key for a bike lock. And here's a key for a front door. And this is not a key at all, but it's got a little number on it, which you can't see on the other side. And that's the number for a bike lock, which is quite cool. So yeah, I just think that keys are pretty darn brilliant. I mean, you kind of put them in and then there's all these mechanisms that go on. And yeah, I don't really understand how it works with all the tumblers and everything. But like keys are just brilliant and they protect, stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, they close doors. I mean, closed doors, it might be like, oh, my door is always open. It might be someone saying, oh, my door is always open, as if you are to say, oh, if you ever close this door, that would be a terrible thing. But some doors, you want them to remain closed. A closed door means that you can't have an intruder. Some people are not the best people. Sometimes you don't want everyone to be able to come through your door. And so that's why sometimes being able to lock your door is a really good thing. And sometimes being able to, you lock your bike or you lock your belongings in a, locker. So yeah, well, we don't need keys to close the loo door. That's just a simple slidey lock. I mean, the nice thing about keys is you lock it and then you walk away. Anyway, keys are brilliant. And so, yeah, let's hear it for keys. Yay, keys. So, next on the agenda, we've got recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. I have seen some sights. I have played multiple games. Oh my gosh, yesterday I was tramping around. I went up that hill. Wait. No, I went up that hill first. I went up that hill and then I wandered on for like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. And then I went up the little hill and then came back. It was, a lovely day, just seeing things and going around and yeah, sure, kind of enjoying the sun. I saw some crazy birds, like they were a little bit like ducks, but their heads and their necks were so red and like their plumage was all brown. Just going around some amazing moss, and that was definitely a highlight. And I invite you to tell me, what was your recent highlight? What have you enjoyed recently? Have you played any games? Let me know. I got to play a couple of games. I firstly played Digital, which is a game where you're going around the board. We played that 3 players, myself, mum and dad, and moving around the board, trying to not be the last player eliminated, trying to not be the last player stranded. And this was, good fun. Although I still, I can't remember how many games I played during the initial testing stream. Let's assume I only played it once, in which case I've played it 7 times now, and I still don't feel like I've got to first level heuristic. I feel like I've not learnt anything since that first time. So from a strategic point of view, that's not the... But, I mean, it still was nice to kind of engage with each other, and we played a bit of Biddle, and yeah, it was a lovely thing being with each other. And of course, I listened to a few podcasts. I listened to Zaya, Emma Janssen, who I had on recently and who I'm excited to have on again in a Expressing Emotion podcast, Expressing Emotion show. I still don't feel like this is a podcast, even though people have started calling it a podcast and now I've started calling it a podcast. But for me, a podcast is something you put on your phone and then you kind of listen to while you're walking around, which isn't really what this is. But yeah, Emma Janssen, Zaya, brilliant, such a cheery podcast, full of joy and laughter, except for the one where Richard comes on, where Emma's still laughing, but Richard's like just having a bit of a grumble. And yeah, it's just, it was a lovely thing to enjoy. What was the other one that I listened to? That Tabletop Inquisition, because I think Antoinette is the board game inquisitor and Ollie is the tabletop games blog, so they joined forces, became Tabletop Inquisition. And so, yeah, with all the fury and all the love and all the collaboration that they could muster, Ollie and Antoinette, in their latest episode, it was all about Agony Aunt. And so that was a nice thing to listen to. So, that's what I've been enjoying. Xate, I don't hear it, I read on the screen that you've been enjoying way too many games on Board Game Arena, Discord, and a Twitch live stream till 1 a.m. yesterday. Was that Loozapalooza? Teotihuacan, Diceforge, Yahtzee, and Can't Stop. That's only 4. I mean, to be fair, Teotihuacan is a longer game. Diceforge's a somewhat long game. But yeah, that sounds like a good evening. Alan Outson's still playing Board Game Arena backgammon, although they're trying to give it up. Oh, Alan Outson's dropped from top 10 to 666th. Xate never walks around during podcasts. fair enough. But I mean, you still have the affordance. You still have the ability to do that. I do the housework when I have on. When I had on Alan. Oh, do you mean I will do? Okay. I'm slightly confused by that. Okay, so this was during your Quality Beast thing. Is that a game that Quality Beast is distributing now? But yeah. Oh, I guess. Oh, so German Daniels Allerle. This is instead of Loserpalooza. Okay, I get it. Okay, sorry. This is what I get for doing it slightly asynchronously. Okay, cool. So are you giving up Loserpalooza for Daniels Allerle? Wow. That's a thing, and Alan's been enjoying lunch, which was apparently lovely, awesome. And you were the only ones in the restaurant except for the chef/waiter. I remember going to somewhere in Avignon, true story. Multiple places, in fact, where I was the only person in there, because I think this was off season, and I'm so glad I went. That's going to be the last trip that I have for a long while. So that was Avignon, a sleepy town, and in summer I think it like doubles in population approximately. But it's kind of, it almost feels like dark catering to your every whim, doesn't it? It feels like and apparently there was no Loserpalooza last night. So does that mean that I'm the longest running daily board games show? I mean, to be fair, if I'm the longest running, like, does that even mean anything? At some point, why do you... Yeah, I was the longest running daily board game show for a while, I guess. But I'll be kind of thinking. So it does not. Apparently there are other daily board game shows. Well, let me know of them. I am curious. Or maybe... Oh, it does not mean anything. As in, I am the longest running, but it does not mean anything. Okay, I get you. Okay. Frankly, if you want to come on, like, just chats, like, the things, then we can. If you would rather not type. That's the thing. Like, who really cares? I mean, it's a bit of an arbitrary contest, and I'm the only person who started kind of keeping track of this anyway. I'm just going to afford you both. I don't normally do this, but if you want to come on and chat occasionally, but I will still be the main person talking, then feel free to jump in. Oh, whoops, I only meant to put that into the Twitch. But so let's move on to the questionably quick questions. Now, do you have any questions? Let me check my usual questions. Where exactly am I? And what time is it? I am in the middle of England, essentially, and it's 10:14. Alan Oughton's apparently still in bed. Oh, that's quite a late rise. But that reminds me, I had a walk even this morning. It's like my last day here. So I wandered down to the lake. I came back up. That was really nice. Did I have breakfast? Yes, I did. I had some hand-picked blackberries, some cereal. Yeah, it was good. That was the last thing I ate. I would prefer a duck-sized meatball, I think, to a meatball-sized duck. I mean, although having said that, the thing about a duck-sized meatball is that this is a living being. You are, you are now responsible for this other thing. So I would have to take care of it. But hopefully it might be easy to take care of. Like, maybe I could sort of put it in my pocket, but like, how would I move it? I'd have to have like equipment. I'd have to have like some sort of cage for it, like as I'm going back to London. Let's imagine that it was like just in London, but then how long would it live? Does this meeple-sized duck, does the duck live for like 10 years? In which case, maybe I want to move far away. Which sock do I put on first? I don't have a sock that I put on first, particularly. I don't know. Let me, I don't know. I've never tested. I think probably my right sock. So I've taken off my socks. So let's see. Would I put on my right sock first or my left sock? I don't know. I think probably my right. I think I would probably put on my right-hand sock first. I'm fairly sure you've asked this question before, Alan. To be fair, we've had lots of shows together and it might have changed. So what time did I wake up? I woke up just before 7, I want to say. Then I watched a bunch of videos. I looked at some articles. I read a wee bit of this book, which is, nice book. And yeah. Yeah, apparently Alan thinks that at some point I said I don't wear socks, but it doesn't seem like something I would have said. So there we go. And now here's Sate. I'm going to make you smaller, Sate. There you go.
I like being smaller. That's nice.
Sorry, can you say that again?
I like being smaller. It's nice.
Oh, okay. Is it kind of like quite cozy over there?
Yeah, I extra went and made a coffee so I can join you for the hot coffee and hot or iced coffee conversation, because I just don't acknowledge tea.
I would choose iced coffee. We've never had that question before, hot coffee or iced coffee. If I were being offered them, I'd probably choose iced coffee. I'm not saying I prefer iced coffee as such. Like if I had it every single day, to be fair, I don't know if I'd just going to mute you as you walk around. Yes, I am much, much bigger than Xate, and Xate can basically fit, if I did that, Xate could sort of fit into the palm of my hand.
I fit in the palm of your hand, but I have you wrapped around my little finger?
I'm not sure I'm going to agree with that. So, I think that's the end of the questionably quick questions. Oh yeah, I was just saying that with iced coffee, I would definitely choose iced coffee because it just feels more novel. It just feels more exciting. Do you know what I mean? It feels more like, wow, this is not a thing that I could easily do for myself. And frankly, I'm too coffee illiterate to appreciate the difference between good quality coffee and cheap coffee, instant stuff.
I make iced coffees every day.
Wow.
So I've gotten into a bad habit since watching your stream, actually. I used to be a 1 latte macchiato person a day, and now I'm a 2 latte macchiato person a day. Except I drink one of them hot in the mornings to wake up, and I drink one of them as an iced coffee in the evening.
So apparently we're imagining like E.T., but like with a little finger that basically is literally about 10 times their own body height.
I don't want that. I might see a surgeon if that was my issue.
Okay, so we already had brilliant things. And I've never asked this question of myself, have I? Because I do this of the guests. Have I done this for myself? I don't think I have.
You've done them all about yourself.
Like, I've not done this recently for myself. Like, recently, I've started working a bit less, so I kind of tried. So I'm with my parents at the moment. Today's the last day. Going back down to London. And it's generally been a bit of waking up, maybe watch a video, go to the loo, you know, do this normal stuff that we don't need to go into. And then very occasionally, if I've had the energy, I've been like a bit poorly recently, but yeah, on kind of doing a mixture of typing things and emails and pondering things until like maybe 5 and reading up on things. And then I kind of tried to put the computer aside and then spend time with parents and like going out, pardon me, going outside if I can, which is nice. Wednesdays, I normally chat to Chris, and like back when I was in London, I would, you know, we would see each other in person. Nowadays, we just kind of chat on the phone, and then Chris does stuff. What's that big? Oh, hello, Alex.
What's that big reaction? Obviously, it's Aquasulis. I mean,
hey, and then yeah, what else? Yeah, on Fridays I talk to Jason. Oh yeah, and yesterday we were talking about 17th of October, which is going to be a thing, where you know, I've talked about this quite a bit already, haven't I?
I'm going to pretend like I don't know what you're talking about so you can talk about it again, because I feel like that's what you want. So really, 17th of October? I wonder what's going on there. Is there any kind of special day happening?
Well, yes, Xate, indeed there is. I'm so happy that you asked me. I would never have asked in this totally unprompted, you know, thing. So, yeah, basically, it's going to be me showing off a couple of games of mine, probably a word game and Fable, which I know you really don't like.
Oh, and I love Fable. It's my favorite game that starts with the word "fey." I broke Bez.
I was just waiting to see who would kind of react first. It was like a Mexican standoff. But yeah, anyway, so we're having on Isaac Shalev, who invented Q4U. We're having Emily and Lewis Shaw, one of them at a time, who published Dead and Breakfast. Having on, yeah, Alan Paul, who was the co-designer of Ming Voyages. Dave is also the co-designer, and yeah, wasn't feeling up to coming on, but you know, is quite excited to be part of it in the background. And there's one other person that I'm forgetting. Oh, Chris Bocke.
I think we need to revoke Alan's moderator status. He's getting some wild ideas of grandeur.
Wow, that is yeah.
Wow. You could delete his moderator status, and then I could delete all of his comments for the rest of the day.
Oh, I'm choosing to ignore that. Anyway, so 17th of October, that's a thing. I'm going to have to everyone who's living in the UK, which is basically everyone except for Isaac Shalev, on in the morning, to kind of explain why their games are good and why I chose them to have them on. I mean, part of it is about the pre-existing relationship, but part of it is also about the fact that I genuinely think that these games are good. Like, I genuinely feel like How Much Money is a really good game for, you know, a party vibe of getting to know other folk. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not going to...
Don't think that's what we're here to talk about. But if you can put it into the form of a board game question, we'll go into that in detail.
I like your response, Xate. So,
I mean, board games, that's what we're talking about.
So I would like to whilst we do sometimes get philosophical and political, there is a limit. And sometimes that line can be blurred, especially when we talk about ethics and legality in board games, but it is specific, generally with a focus of board games. And that's totally fine. Thank you very much. So, yeah, do feel free to ask questions, but try now as we move to the main topic to have them somewhat relevant. And I guess today's a bit of a weird show, isn't it? Because this is something I do every couple of weeks, where it's basically a meta show where we're talking about the show, right?
Pretty much. Except this time I'm here just to make things weird.
Because, you know, I trust you to not say, like, you're okay with not saying very much. I'm still kind of the person speaking most, and we're going to be talking about Manifesto and checking in with how am I doing and about yourself. But yeah, there's a limit, but I'm choosing to make that a thing out of topic. So let's start with Manifesto, and this is specifically to do with my board games and this board game show. So what am I doing? What do I want to do? What are my obligations to myself and others? What's my goal? Where would I like to be in 5 years? And what do I want to make or share? And I would like to, yeah, so I had a manifesto a while back where I basically said that the point of Stuff by Bez is to maximize the amount of fun that people can have with my stuff. This was something that I put on my Facebook about a year and a half ago. I don't think we even knew each other back then, Xate.
Yeah, we did. A year and a half ago? I met you at the end of November 2018.
Wait, maybe it was 2 years and a half ago. Yeah, it was start of 18.
No, then we didn't know each other yet.
Yeah, man. The point is that
meeting you was a bigger deal for me than meeting me was for you. I get it.
Okay, so look, wished. That's all I'm going to say. Wished you wee lassie. Okay, so look, I made board games. I still continue to work on board games in some manner. Like, I develop stuff for the L deck. I'm doing art for Categorical. I'm designing things that I want to pitch to other companies, and it's like, why am I doing this? Like, is it because that's kind of the first question, isn't it? It's like, why are we doing these things? And I want to have this manifesto specifically with regards to A, my board games, and then B, the show. So with the board games, it was, as I say, to maximize the amount of fun, which meant that A, make sure that my games are something that people can have fun with. B, make it something so that it's accessible. Make it something so that other people can, join in, tell people about it so that other people can do it, get into it, like potentially get it into schools and stuff if I can afford to do that. But at the same time, manage to make it profitable so that I can personally continue to do that. Does that kind of make sense?
It does.
And yeah, I guess that's with regards to board games. Like, sure, what am I doing? I'm making board games. I'm trying to make board games that, even if it's not something that's, oh, wow, this is fun. Like, fun is a very vague term. It's like kind of the positive emotions. It's like, okay, maybe it's the positive connections. Maybe you kind of are thinking about Wakan, your moves. Like, that's, even though you wouldn't think of that sort of game as a fun game, if you know what I mean. But
yes, I do.
but like it's not like riotous, laugh out loud funny. Do you know what I mean? It's like engrossing. It's strategic. It's
You need to watch me play Teotihuacan. I definitely
Why
laugh.
are you laughing in gleeful, sadistic, Machiavellian exuberance?
I mean, maybe a little bit.
Okay. Well, it kind of feels like I mean, look, there's Seize the Power, which is not a fun game. It's a game which is meant to be a bit downhearted and depressing, but then at the same time, that game is meant to facilitate, ideally foster like better thoughts down the road, but it's about eventual positive vibes, and I guess what I want to do is continue doing that, and I want to, broadly speaking, continue getting more stuff out to publishers. I need to draw up some sell sheets in the next week, I want to say. At least one sell sheet. That will honestly be the first sell sheets I've ever made, which, it's going to be a new thing for me. But it's one of these things that's essential, because right now, sure, I've got a few ideas that could be mass market things that I don't want to do myself, but I'm also thinking about these Bbbb budget boxes. Although I was told that this might be not the best name. But what do you think of that name? You don't like it?
I mean, it's on brand for you. I don't know that it would be necessarily the most attractive thing to someone in a store setting.
Sure. So the point of the Bbbb budget box is that, let's say, so it's something that I don't even see as this is a game which I'm trying to push through shops. Like, I'd allow shops to get it. I'd price it at a point where shops are able to get it at a discount if they want to buy it. But it would be basically, okay, I print off 500 with the expectation that I sell like 300 of them directly. And yeah, are you laughing at other stuff, or?
Me? Yes.
Fair enough.
Are you thinking of rebranding yourself from Bez to Bezzy? Because I think the more things you bring out that have Bezzy instead of just Bez, the more that becomes kind of your persona. Not sure Bezzy is where you want to go, but maybe. I mean,
I don't know. Like, as the first thing, like, it feels like stuff by Bez versus Bez's stuff, but maybe it should be Bez's budget box. Maybe the show should be Bez's bedtime board game bladder. Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, I think we could drop the bedtime thing again. That was just a joke I made. But,
I mean, I don't think this was a joke that you made. I think I started it when we were chatting, like when I was wandering around in Downhill Park.
I thought I started.
I can't remember who.
Yeah.
I thought, like, it felt like I don't know. It felt like a kind of we've not recorded that conversation, though. We can't go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're learning from this is that everything we say to one another needs to be live streamed on Twitch and YouTube so that we can then have a record for Alan Outen to go back and search through.
Yeah, maybe.
Like that time you told us that you don't like socks.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't believe I said this. Do I have people that have done what I say I'll do? I mean, in theory, Jason should do a little bit of that. I know that you've kind of chosen to do this. Yeah, Alex says, for any creator, it feels like the main barrier to success is scale. If your creations will only reach a few hundred people, then the returns on your creative time will be quite low. And I guess that ties into why I'm thinking of doing these Bez's budget box or Bezzy budget box. I mean, like, it was always Bezzy, this show. It was like Bezzy Breakfast Board Game Bladder originally. It wasn't Bez's breakfast board game bladder.
Right, but this is just a Twitch stream. When you start putting it in print places, it becomes more part of the actual, company identity.
That's true. Like, yeah, maybe the Twitch stream should be Bez's bedtime board game bladder. Yeah, maybe I'll change the title of the show.
I don't know. I think like
52 episodes.
The Twitch stream can just be kind of the character of Bez, who happens to also be stuffed by Bez, has a Twitch stream. But if you put it on a box, then it's the company stuffed by Bez now has a line of things called Bezzy.
Because I was thinking like Bezzy is kind of like an adjective. Do you know what I mean? This is quite Bezzy. This is a bit Bezzy. Oh, this is very Bezzy.
I mean, we have started using this in our general, English language. In fact, Aquasulis and I did apply to, I don't remember, what was the name of the dictionary company that we submitted this to? Was it Oxford or Cambridge? I don't know my England. But we did actually suggest it as an adjective for the upcoming edition.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean,
they sent us back some hate mail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. Hate.
Oh, the Collins. I'm sorry. Yeah, I get those confused.
Man, Colin. Why would they hate you like this? This just seems completely unfair.
To be fair, it might not have been the dictionary. I just wrote to everyone named Colin that I could find. Like.
Yeah. In all seriousness, like it doesn't. I guess the point of the Bez's budget box board games would be like, here's an idea that I have, and I want to get it out there, and this is like the first edition, and let's just make it cheap, and let's make it something that people can buy, and it feels like that's a way that I could potentially get more people to buy, because like if I've got it priced at £8, then apparently Joan Collins hasn't gotten back to you yet.
That's true.
So like it's about kind of, because I do this for two reasons, right? I do it so there's like gaming as a hobby. Like there's doing this as a hobby because I want to do something that I think is valuable, or I want to express myself, or I want to make stuff and share it with the world and hopefully have people enjoy it. Even if I know that some people won't enjoy it because, some people just do not like speed games or slapping the middle of the table. You will probably not like Plus.
What? Who doesn't like speed games where you get punched in the hand?
I mean, you don't like it, but there's lots of people who do.
Yeah, I guess I just don't like that kind of pain.
Like, you don't tend to get punched in the hand. Anyway, so the thing about this is like let's imagine in a bind, instead of selling it at £9, I'd done the whole thing like basically black and white, maybe one extra color, and it was like, okay, boom, here, I'm going to do this thing quickly and puts a little bit less effort. Maybe like the difference between £8 and £17 or £15 would be enough to make people think, oh wow, well it's only £8. Well, maybe I'll just take a punt on it. And we've got some words. Apparently, Alex says maybe you just use speed games as an excuse to punch other people's hands.
I mean, you've seen images of me with my hands in my boxer gloves. So.
Yeah. And fundamentally, like, I want to make games and I want to get them out to people. And this feels like a way to get it out to people. That's what I'm thinking. I'll try it with plus. I'll see how it goes. But it was also about manifesto for the show, and I guess that's what I want to kind of do again as well. And here, like, yeah, because what am I doing, like, even with the show itself? This feels like I've done enough of these that I probably should take a step back and ask these questions. Hopefully you agree that that feels reasonable.
What episode number are we on now? It's gotta be like
140.
148 or something. Am I close?
I think you can see it's up at the top, right?
Well, not currently.
So, what am I doing? Like, I'm basically this. Why did I even write this question? I mean, this is fairly obvious. I'm recording every day at 10 a.m. plus Tuesdays at 8 p.m. all UK time, and I've decided that I am going to continue basing it off UK time rather than UTC. So I'm not going to. I think that's Alex saying nice to 148 episodes. Is that what they're responding to?
I think Aqua's just calling me nice. I mean, seems like the most logical thing. Yeah,
you are. No, that's so sweet. So now we're just assuming that anyone who says nice, yeah, that's exactly what Alex was meaning. Oh,
that's sweet. Thank you, Aqua.
So yeah, what I want to do, I guess I think I want to continue doing this at least for a while, but I also want it to be enjoyable. I want it to be, I want to continue learning more from folk, but also I want folk to come on to have a somewhat good time. I mean, I guess there's a question, so what are my obligations to myself? I guess I've got to make sure that this doesn't become like a thing that's bad for my mental health, if you know what I mean. Because I think that if at some point it's like, yeah, doing this is really getting me down, it's starting to feel like too much of a constraint, it's feeling like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this anymore. Then at that point, I think I need to be like, you know what? Okay, I'm not the longest daily show anymore. I will take like a week off or something.
And actually, that's why you're the longest. The losers also have that same mentality. They said they don't want it to be something they have to do or expected to do, or that they have to find a replacement for if they don't, for some reason, stream. That they come first, their mental health, their family life. And so if there is something else that they need to do, they do it. And that's part of building a healthy community. It's just saying, hey, sorry, guys, Friday, we're going to go visit some friends and they don't have great internet and we're not going to waste our time visiting our friends streaming with you guys. They don't say it like that, of course. They say it nicer. But I mean, the idea behind it is, hey, this is our family time. We deserve that. It's okay. You guys play games with other people. And I think you can feel free to do the same thing. If there's a day where you're just like, you know what, I'm on vacation with my parents and they want to do this thing and it's in the morning, well, then do the thing. You know, we'll live.
Yeah.
We'll just all sit quietly in our rooms and cry. But we won't tell you about it, so it'll be fine.
I mean, that's the thing, like, there is an obligation to be kind of honest with yourself. And as you start doing more and more stuff, in the same way that people should be allowed to take days off from work, and people should be allowed to, if you're working as, well, whatever your job is, you do get holiday time. You do get to say, okay, you know what, when I was working my last non-board gaming job, where I was, yeah, I'm not even going to talk about it. It's, but it was like, I said, okay, I'm going to put in this time to take these particular days off. And then I got those days off and, you know, with a lot of back and forth because it wasn't the best work environment, to be honest. And then eventually they're like, okay, fine, you can take days off, and which I am legally allowed to take anyway, for goodness sake. And then, you know, having a bit of a holiday and having a break. And that's the thing, like, at what point does something go from being a hobby to being a work? Is it at that point that you have obligations to others? Like, what do you think?
I mean, obviously, you always have to, I mean, even from a psychological point of view, you always have to first look at yourself and your own health. Because if you get too run down, if there's something wrong with you, then you're not able to be there for other people. So if you're in a bad place because you haven't taken the time you need to do the things you need for yourself, what good is that to your community? So then you're coming on and you're grumpy and you're upset and you're not, your busy self, you're being some depressing little ball of red. That's just going to bring everyone down more than having you say, you know what, guys, I need a day for mental health, or I need 2 days to go on this thing that I've got planned or whatever. You guys do something else. And when we all get back, we'll talk about it and it'll be fun and exciting and uplifting. And we'll have positivity, which is more on brand for you than coming in and be like, I could be out on this excursion with my family right now, but no, it's 10 a.m. And so I'm going to stream with you guys. Isn't this great?
I mean, like, I've not felt like that the past few days. Has it felt like that?
No, I'm just saying if it did get to that point, then you would be wrong to be streaming. Then you should say,
Okay.
you know what, no.
I mean, for me, I think there's a difference because the losers do it as an evening thing. And I find that when I do the 8 p.m. thing, I almost feel like, okay, that's something that I'm thinking about during the day. Whereas here it's like, okay, I wake up and like today I would say I normally look better, but you know how I normally look, so I can't really use that excuse, can I? But I basically just went down and then I came up and then I came back some kind of sweaty. And
I normally look much better during your stream. I just want to say, normally I'm, dolled up to the nines and sitting here in evening attire, fancy dress, hair up, styled. But, today I just got caught off guard, so I'm just... But also, if I happen to be on vacation with my parents, I would beg you to let me come on as a guest on your stream so that I would have an excuse to spend an hour doing something other than time with my family. So there's that too.
I mean, if I'm being honest, like, I don't think I would... I mean, a lot of the time that I've not been wandering around, it's not been because of the stream. And I'm not sure that language is an issue for me, Alan. I don't think there's much psychological difference, but I guess, yeah.
I think it's a pride thing. You don't want to break the streak. You're having fun being on every day. But as long as that's something that gives you pleasure to have that streak and to, then that's fine because it's still giving you the positive reinforcement. It's when that becomes less enjoyable than what the alternative would be if you did break the streak.
And that's the thing, like, for Christmas, am I going to, say, okay, I'll just kind of do a quick 15-minute check-in for the sake of doing it?
And would anyone of us actually be here if you did? Is the other thing. I mean, where does it become a point where you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, so I'm not breaking my streak, and I'm still there. And then you come on, you put up the effort, and then we're all off, having Christmas, and nobody's there. That would feel even worse to you, I think, than if you just said, you know what, it's a holiday. Let's have a holiday.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I remember that. Do you remember that one time when it was me streaming and you and Alex were watching?
I remember that one time very, very, very well.
Yeah. So this one time I was streaming because I wanted to basically record my thoughts to my future self. And I think that's also something that it's become. It's kind of like a diary. Like, it's kind of like, hey, here's some things that I've enjoyed recently. And this is something that I'm looking forward to. And if it's a
you call short-term memory loss for Aquasulus. It's called repression.
If I were doing a stream and I said, look, here's a stream I'm doing and I'm going to talk about my top tips for making word games, and then I put efforts into doing it, like into writing the notes, and then, or for my, I think one of the streams I said, okay, I'm going to do a board game design 101 as one of the streams. And if no one turns up to that, I would have been disappointed because I put efforts into it. And sorry, you just weren't there, Alan. But, you know, to make Alan feel included, Alan is my favorite person out of everyone. I'm sorry, Xate.
Okay, bye.
But no, in all seriousness, because look, when I started, and I think I called it episode 1 because, you know, why wouldn't you? It was the first time I'd done it. And Alan was there.
Alan chooses a lot of other people as their BFF. They've never chosen Bez, so.
Look, if someone else hadn't been there, would I have continued? I don't know. And like, probably not. Are you saying I would have?
You looked away. If you missed my reaction, that's on you.
But like, I can't remember what day it was when there was like this conversation going on. I can't remember what like yesterday, when Chris and I were talking, and then there was like this kind of, I think there was a tangential conversation going on in the Twitch yesterday, right?
At least 3, yeah.
So the point is, like, I feel like it's gotten to the point where there's people who come in regularly, and I feel really grateful that there is this kind of community, I guess. And at the same time, even if I'm like in the background, if you know what I mean, you are paying half an ear, if you know what I mean. And I am really grateful to that. Yeah. But look, what I'm saying is that maybe, I am going to start off. There's a lot of people that I'd like to chat to, and even though I've chatted to lots of people, I feel like I should probably bring up some videos so that we can just appreciate quite how many people there have been on the stream. I don't know how many people, but it feels like a lot. Whoops. What happened? Oh, there we go. It suddenly went full screen. So, in the past couple of weeks, we've had Chris, Colvin, that's Emma Janssen, Alan, Mark, Javier, Emily, Danny, Dina, Lolvi, Tally, Andrew January, Chris, another check-in with myself just a week ago, Antoinette. That was an amazing show. And I feel like all these people that I'm getting on, I'd just like to chat to more people, frankly. And feel free to say, this is the point where I want to invite you to give me critical feedback. The chats as in chats in Twitch. I thought Alan was talking about the chat in here. And I guess this is me kind of just fishing for this whole show. Really, this whole show today, is basically me just fishing for constructive feedback. That's basically what it is.
I thought you were going to say compliments.
Nah.
It's just me fishing for. Come on, say something nice.
No, like genuinely, I would like to know. I know that number 145 was probably the worst one for quite a while. I don't know if people would agree.
Yeah. I love Emma. Absolutely love Emma. Especially when she's speaking Dutch, which doesn't happen very often, unless I pay her. But, yeah.
Yeah, you will be happy to hear that we are chatting again on the 13th. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be as bubbly as most of the guests on the Pointless Pirates podcast, but I probably won't be as crabbit as Richard Simpson. But we'll kind of have a chat about expressing emotions. I'm also wondering whether I should start. I did not enjoy the game. Yep, that's fine. It was a terrible game, and it kind of made me realize afterwards. I don't know if you saw the thing I posted in Girls Game Shelf, like afterwards, where I basically said, "Look, it was an experiment, and it made me realize, the value of conveying emotions, not just because if you convey good, positive emotions, it becomes like a virtuous cycle, and then by laughing or being happy or spreading joy, other people get excited and share that. Or even if you're negative about something, it might be like a way of showing compassion to someone. Or if someone's had a shit day, saying, I'm sorry that this rubbish thing is happening for you. And
I think also it can be a lesson in maybe learning when to cut your losses and just change your format. Like if you're doing something that's not working and you realize it's not working, you don't have to keep doing it.
Yeah, and I stopped at the end of the show.
You didn't. Emma stopped. You didn't.
I stopped at the end. I don't mean before the end, I mean at the end.
Oh, after you hit the stop sending button.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So basically, it was like, okay, yeah. Alan Outson says they could have provoked more but didn't want to cross the line. That's fair. Yeah, so let's get back to this so-called manifesto. I guess my obligations to myself, what my goal is for myself is to, originally it was just, hey, let's do something to get me out of bed. Let's do something that gets me to wake up at a reasonable hour. And now I'm managing to do that, not just for me, but for other people, which is cool. So, I mean, given
I get out of bed for you every morning, Bez.
No.
Like an hour before your show, but we'll count it, right?
Apparently, if I could make sure the best guests are on Tuesdays, that would be great.
I've already requested that the best guests please not come on Sundays, so I guess, Tuesday would work for me also if you could have the best guests on Tuesdays. Yeah.
Why doesn't Alex appear on the show? I've invited Alex on the show, and Alex and Sate need to come on the show to talk about Actionable.
Yeah. But we also need to have just Aqua, because Aqua's awesome.
Yeah, like we can talk. I mean, it can be like the Actionable, but we can go off topic for a bit of that if you don't want to talk about Actionable the whole time. Anyway, so I guess it's like kind of, it originally was get me out of bed and get me to think of things. Like originally part of it was actually I wanted to say goodbye to games before I got rid of them, which I've not done for quite a while. It was like kind of rambling about them for an hour, and then I'd be like, okay, you know what? Now I've rambled about the last straw for an hour. Now I can feel free to give it away, which I did. And I feel slightly more happy giving it away now that I've had a ramble about it for an hour. And it's kind of, do you get what I mean psychologically?
Yeah, it's, saying goodbye. It's like a funeral for your board game.
Yeah, except it's not a funeral, it's going to someone else. And also Last Straw is not a good game, I kind of said, for reasons. But it's neither exciting nor... anyway, we don't need to get into...
Yeah, but it does have the same psychological effect as a funeral. Even if it's going to someone else and not into the ground, you're saying your goodbyes, you're passing on, you're sharing memories about that board game. And then, you're throwing it into the ditch, which happens to be a post box.
Or potentially handing it over to someone.
Yeah. Dearly beloved, we're gathered here to say goodbye to Vibble++.
Hey, I'm not giving away my copies. Well, I guess I am, because it's the L deck. like Wibble plus plus is no more. Long live the LDEC. But yeah, what are my obligations to others? And like the other fun thing that kind of came along the way was all the interviews, because I've just really enjoyed chatting to people. Again, all of these people, yeah, I would say.
What was your favorite interview?
Ever.
Yeah. Well, since you started the show.
Let's just go since number 100, because that's going to take too long.
If you don't know, then it can't be your favorite. It has to pop into your mind. I know my favorite show. I mean,
I really liked, and I mean the ones that are up there are like, I really liked the one with Jay. Oops, I didn't mean to actually click there and go there. That was the thing. Antoinette, maybe I will just kind of show you the first 2 seconds of each of these. That's like, and then I really liked the material that we came up with. Dina gave some amazing like inputs in their interview. And yeah, also it's nice having Emily on. I can't choose between those. Those would be up there. What's your favorite?
Well, I mean, my favorite episode obviously is when you had Rose and Peter come on and talk to me. Because, you know, totally not biased about that.
Oh yeah, drawing a discussion with Bez, Sate, Rose, and Peter.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Oh
because
yeah,
I got to have fun,
Peter.
And I like having fun.
So that was a thing that happened for sure. Anyway,
that was a thing that happened. That's British for that episode was rubbish, but I'm glad you had fun.
That's, you know what? Maybe I do need to take a break, because right now that's basically best for. I don't have the energy to express an opinion, and also I do want to get back on topic.
Well, but can I ask you one question that I've really been curious about?
Sure.
What is your goal?
Thank you for asking. So, I guess it's a combination of continuing to improve my life and my own knowledge. And I mean, there's a lot of self-censored stuff in here. I'm not going to get, I don't want to kind of dismiss that or pretend like, okay, it's entirely unselfish. And I'm glad that you have favorites as well, Alan. So yeah, my goal, I guess, is to, there's been a goal like that's come along the way where more and more I have had this obligation to others, where I've started feeling like actually this show is somewhat, it's starting to be good. Like hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully it's like informative. Like especially when I have someone on to talk about particular forms of playtesting, or when there's 2 of us to have a discussion about something where we're both coming together. And I guess my goal used to be just to make sure that I wasn't going into hibernation, essentially, if you know what I mean. Because there's that temptation of just kind of sleeping 20 hours and eating, and then sleeping 20 hours and maybe kind of watching a video and then sleeping.
Can you do that? I'd be super impressed if you could sleep for 20 hours.
I have slept for literally 20 hours.
Wow.
It's normally when I'm feeling quite down, and there's, but like having this as a commitment obligation, whatever you want to call it, it has that benefit of getting me. Yeah, I don't know how I would do that without having to do an awful lot of work.
And they would
without,
flash with the titles you're always flashing up.
yeah.
They'd be right on top of that.
I haven't considered that. I guess if there was a way for people to put them on or put them not, then like, thank you very much. I don't actually put hours. I don't know if Alan's being totally
Yes, you do. You totally do. Well, actually, I mean, theoretically, if you count the time you've put into building relationships with people to the point that they're willing to come on for 1 to 13 hours and onto your stream and talk to you about things, I mean, that is also investment in the show, the building relationships stage.
That's kind of true. Like, would Richard Denning of UK Games Expo have come on to anyone's show?
No, like if I sent him an email and said, "Hey, I've got this Twitch show, come on it," he'd be like, "Huh? No."
And like, yeah, I mean, I know that it was very self-promotional for Richard, but for me, it's a big enough deal that, okay, I'm willing to have them be self-promotional for this thing, if you know what I mean. If Rory Muldoon wanted to be self-promotional on this show, I'd be like, well, you need to do something else, which is why we talked about developing art alongside games. And whereas Ella, it's like, oh, wow, I've really wanted to have a conversation with you. Because we've met each other briefly at Essen, but we've never actually sat down and had a proper conversation, which is why when in future, when it's meeting, blah, 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 it's going to be either like someone that I'm personally really excited to chat to, or it's going to be like, hey, here's someone that, yeah, I just want to present, which was kind of the case with, where's, Simon Caruso.
I mean, that's fine. I don't think it always has to be like generic topics that we can apply to our own game development hopes and dreams. Sometimes it's cool just to meet somebody, find out their path, their way of, doing things that they do.
I mean, looking at it, where would I like to be in 5 years? I mean, this is an easy thing to apply to my games. When I apply it to my games, I would like to be in the point where I've got maybe a number that is more than 2, so of games that are selling consistently. So for business and for my own personal, let's call it my hobby side of board gaming, which frankly, all my self-published stuff I've realized is a hobby now. I would like the LDEC to be selling a lot more. I would like to put that money into having more people on for design, and I'd like to put all that money into making things that I feel like, yeah, this is actually really good. Like paying Miles a bit more, being able to say, yeah, once you get that in, I am going to print it straight off the bat, and like we're going to have this big like lead into it, and hopefully have, every year there's a couple of limited edition decks for the L deck, and having like a couple of people who aren't me, who are like on wage, to be like paid to kind of develop stuff, if you know what I mean. I think that would be like ideally where I would like to be.
Sounds like a pretty good goal.
Yeah, that's my goal for the L deck. Now, what's my goal for the stream?
Will Twitch even exist in 5 years? I mean,
pardon?
Will Twitch even exist in 5 years?
I
feel like Twitch's popularity is primarily because of the Corona situation. Everybody's just kind of looking for human interaction and live things. I had never heard of Twitch before. I know it did exist, but
it was a really big thing with board games before.
Really? I didn't.
I mean,
I'd never heard of it.
If I had to give up, I don't want to answer. I don't want to contemplate this universe where I'm having to give up things. Yeah, right now probably it would be Kitty Cataclysm. because
You just said you didn't want to contemplate it, Bez. Stick to it. You don't have to answer Alan. He's a troll. Ignore your troll.
I don't want to contemplate it too much. So I'm just giving my hot take. I would give up that game, because much as I would like to do more stuff with it, you know, am I allowed to, assuming you mean either that one single game or all of my streaming, and I can't just rename it, I'm assuming that's what you mean. This feels like an entire new thing that I'm doing. And this whole streaming, it feels like a really nice thing. It's allowed me to chat to all these people, to learn from them. Yeah, sometimes it's like very much like when it's Dina, it's kind of, okay, Dina's teaching me along with you people. And it's almost like free consultation, if I may, in some ways. I like,
we noticed.
I like when Lolvi comes on, like parts of it is that Lolvi's a really nice person. I really like chatting to them. I definitely consider them a friend, but also Safety and LARP. That was, something where they have expertise. And yeah, sharing story via games, that felt like, I don't know, a discussion. It didn't feel like we came to, I don't feel like I learned a lot from that, but like sometimes I learn more, sometimes I learn less. Sometimes it's just about getting to know the other person, if you know what I mean. And sometimes it's about hearing like perspectives, and it's been like, okay, actually, so this is what you do. And sometimes it's being like, okay, actually, the internet connection in Nigeria is really bad. And
unfortunately, because those have been some very interesting guests, but it's hard to watch, unfortunately, sometimes with the connectivity issues.
Yeah. And like, I was amazed, like, I feel like a lot of this chat should go into the 200th episode, but like, just like, or in a mood of reminiscing it. I mean, I guess what I want to say, like, okay, where would I like to be in 5 years' time? Alan doubts that Twitch will go away, but regardless, like, this is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I'm going to be able to carry on in some manner if I so desire. I think that's how I see it, being a small part of my life, where even if it's not necessarily a daily thing, it's at least a weekly thing, if you know what I mean, where it's probably going to be, when I relocate, it's probably going to be a time that suits me, because I had this thinking when I was talking to CD and they were saying, yeah, 10 a.m. it's going to be too late for us, because it's going to be 11 p.m. for them when the clocks change. And so not only is it going to be bedtime, it's going to be after bedtime. So an 11 p.m. starts is just a bit too late. But yeah, and then I was kind of pondering for a bit, do I stick to UTC because that could make sense? And I thought, no, because if it becomes 11 a.m. UK time, then it's not as good a time for me. And I feel like I need to be put myself first for this, because I am the person who's doing it every single day.
Right. You can't base your time slot on someone who comes in, once every couple of weeks and enjoys it when they're there, but you're there every day, so it has to work for you.
And when I relocate to Asia, I think I will probably continue this in some manner. Like, I've really enjoyed just chatting to people and having conversations. I really like the notion of it being a daily morning thing. It kind of fits into my life well, because if it's in the evenings, normally wherever you are, there's a lot of people doing stuff. And especially when we move out of this times of isolation, if you know what I mean, it feels like a good time to do stuff with people around you in real life. But in the morning, it's like, I know that there's a lot of people for whom it might not work, for whom, okay, some people have families and they need to get their kids ready for school or whatever. But for me, having that, okay, I need to get started. This is the start of my day. And I really like that consistency. And so I think that I would probably, maybe some days I do a quick, okay, I'm just doing a quick show for literally half an hour and that's it. And some days it might be, okay, let's chat for, an hour or 2 hours or whatever it takes until we finish talking about marketing or what's our...
I'd like to see a show of hands in chat, please. Who believes that Bez can keep any stream at all to half an hour? Anyone who believes this?
Can I just say that this was a stream technically test. It was meant to be task number 49 song, but that was technically a stream.
Yeah, no, that was part of the scavenger hunt. That was not a stream. I call shenanigans.
Okay. Yes to more guests from around the world. Would I expand into other related areas to board games? Maths, probability, psychology of play? Yeah, absolutely. Those are things that I think are very relevant to board games. I think it should be all sorts of things that are about board games and board game design. And yeah, absolutely. If I was in a time zone where I could feel happy to ask Jeff Engelstein to talk about loss aversion, I think that would be a really good topic. Like it's already been an hour and a quarter. So pondering a manifesto, it's hard to look ahead 5 years, especially in today's climate. But I guess what I want to make or share is I want to share my thoughts on board games. I want to share conversations with other people. I want to share conversations. And now I'd like to quickly, I'm going to just keep these permanently on the screen today. I know that's quite unusual, but it feels more appropriate for checking with myself. So how am I? What am I enjoying? What do I want to change about my life or the stream? What do I want to achieve? What habits do I want to start, maintain, or stop? What am I proud of recently? I am physically slightly run down. I'm enjoying the stream. I've been enjoying wandering around. I've really enjoyed being up here and playing games with my parents. I'm looking forward to, playing games with Chris and McCall. I'm really looking forward to that on Monday.
Will that be streamed?
No.
Oh.
That's private time.
But.
Hey, if you tune in on October 17th, Chris is going to take over from me for an hour or so.
Ooh, I will watch that hour. I will be here on the 17th.
So, yeah, I'm generally okay. I mean, to quote Lester Burnham, I'm not as okay as Lester, but I'm okay. I'm actually, yeah, I'm feeling okay about life. I do definitely need to get on top of pitching and stuff. I want to change about my life. I want to do a bit more exercise. I want to start putting in more healthy habits.
Now, have you heard of Aqua's challenge for fitness this month? If you're talking about getting more healthy, Aqua has us doing a lot of push-ups every day or something. I haven't been doing it because I said I'd only do it if they reminded me, and they haven't been reminding me. So, but you could join that for fitness. Do a group thing. Lots and lots of fitness.
I'm not familiar with that. So, yeah. What habits do I want to start, maintain, or stop? And what am I proud of? I guess to keep it relevant to the stream and to board gaming, I am proud of the fact that, yeah, there was so much outpouring of design enthusiasm for the Aldec Design 2020 contest. I know that it's been almost 2 months since the deadline, but I'm still allowed to be proud of that. And I'm proud of...
that was a pretty exciting thing.
It is. And I'm continuing to play them. And some of the games I've now, played tens of times, and some of them are still holding up. although some of them, they're starting to change a wee bit. There's one called Digital. I don't know if you remember that one, where
Is that
you
the one we
kind of
played online?
we need to be basically the last person standing on this grid of cards.
Oh no,
So,
I was thinking of.
oh, you
I
were
don't-
thinking of No Evil.
Right, because we played it digitally, but
No, Digital is the one where, in theory, you use your digit, but
Okay,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah,
actually played it using your digit.
to be
But
honest, all of the L names are super confusing, and I never know at all what game you're talking about when you say it's like L, and I'm like, oh, the game where you use the L deck to. Can you remind me again? I don't even think if I made a game for the L deck, I would remember what it was called. It would just be something L. So.
hello, Ross. Lovely to see you in chat.
Ross.
I mean, look, I am excited by this thing. I feel like I'm up to about 25 games for the L deck that I'm like, yeah, I'm actually really happy with them. That if I had to write up the rules tomorrow, or more realistically, because that feels like a lot of work, if I had to like kind of tell someone else the rules and get someone else to write it up, maybe a team of people, because that's a lot of games to write up the rules for in one day, isn't it?
You could have 25 people do it.
Yeah, we could. But anyway, if we had to like commit it to a book, I feel like I'm up to 25. And so once I've got 26, then I'm going to make a book for it.
Wow. I mean, I have to admit, I was very surprised once I started playing around with the L deck how much could be done with it. I hadn't, up to this summer, realized really the system behind the system. And it is a lot more intriguing than I thought it was 6 months ago. So.
And just because you are sometimes sarcastic, you are not being sarcastic there.
No, I'm not being sarcastic there.
Like, sometimes it's hard to tell with you.
Well, I mean, you know how many hours I put into playing with the L deck, so.
Yeah, you did a lot of stuff. And that's like the thing that I'm proudest of, that it is becoming, it's not just me. Like, yes, I started it. And thank you, Alan. And also thank you for working on Alphabetical. And Chris's main project, other than when I go back, yeah, actually we were working on a lot of different box designs for Alphabetical. I feel like I should show those off at some point, because we need that for the board game arena thing. But yeah, I feel really happy that people are engaging, that people are having a good time, and I feel like it's maybe I need to kind of do that. Like that's a contest that is going to carry on. I'm looking forward to those being anonymized, sending those out to people and having like Chris, not Chris, Jason, Tom, Dave, Paul, Andrew, everyone kind of starts reading through them and playing with them, even though the 4 players or more is going to be difficult to test this year. That's just the way that it is. Now, awesome. So when you come on 21st, we'll be able to play it on Board Game Arena. I think this is what Alan is saying, that we will be able to play Alphabetical on Board Game Arena when Alan comes on.
Alan is coming on this show? The actual Alan? Live and in person and for more than a few seconds?
Yeah, Alan's coming on to talk about their game.
Now that is exciting news.
Yeah, it's in the thing. It says, meeting Alan, Bezel, BGA, and or what Alan's currently working on.
Spoilers!
I mean, you can see all these spoilers in the calendar. I mean,
I don't look at the calendar. I don't like spoilers.
Do you seriously not check to see who's ever coming on?
It's really hard to avoid it, too, because you post it everywhere.
I mean, I feel like I don't post it enough sometimes because I don't feel like people do look at it. Whereas my intention with that is for people to say, oh, here's Bez talking about 10 games that they love. Maybe that's something that's going to be a bit more positive and enjoyable to watch. Maybe
The more
once
you post it, the less people are going to check it. Like a lot of times I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, that looks cool. And then I'll look at when is it happening? And it's in 3 days. And I'm like, well, that's the day I said I can't be there. Sorry, I saw this post. Now I'm excited about that thing that I can't be at.
But that doesn't stop you from looking forward to it. Like if you could have been there, then you would have still.
No, I think 3 days in advance for me personally is too much anticipation for a stream. If you post something day of, or maybe in the evening, the night before, that's just about the sweet spot for anticipation. If it's like, yeah, in 3 days, so much life happens in 3 days on the internet. That's too much for me.
Alan says, agreed with Xate. I mean, honestly, the reason why I have the, let me kind of get up the calendar. So I guess you'll need to stuff by Bez streams.
If anybody didn't get that, it's the Doctor Who reference.
So let me take off that banner. So basically, the thing about this thing is, like, it's for my own organization. I want to know, okay, who's coming, gone, and who's not. And this way I can say to everyone, look, this is the calendar. Here are the dates. Look yourself which dates are free. And so if someone wants to come on as a guest, then you could come on the 5th or the 18th or the 19th of October. Those are dates when I am currently free. Also 25th and 27th of October. So I have 5 free dates in October. And yeah, there are some regular guests in November, which everyone knows about. But this is to keep myself organized to some degree. This is something that I need, and it feels like, you know, why not share it with everyone else? And so then we come to the final question, which is like the most important part, where it's not just a monologue. And I'm going to make you an equal size so you can, so I can check in with you, Xate. Maybe I should even swap our positions and make you bigger. So I've been streaming for nearly 5 months, I believe. And so, yeah, everyone, firstly, why do you watch?
Like initially, or why do I still watch? Because those are very...
Yeah, why do you still watch? Why do you watch now?
Well...
Everyone, like this is...
I do agree with you with the morning structure thing. For me also, I do get up a bit before your stream because it's not until 11 my time, which is a little bit late. But I do like having... There's something to do that I'm doing almost every day. I usually do my breakfast during it because, you know, that's part of what this was. Originally was kind of the brunch thing. So yeah, I do grab my breakfast, grab my coffee, have something... some communication with people. It's kind of it's a little bit reminiscent of, like, I mean, my family never did this, but I hear that families on TV do it all the time. Family breakfast. For me, it's, you know, I'm sitting down with my family to breakfast and having a little check-in. Oh yeah, sure. And then yeah, and also a lot of times I'm very, very interested by the topics. Sometimes I don't think I'm interested in the topics, but they surprise me, which has been an interesting thing to see. That sometimes I'm just like, oh, okay, this is going to be a boring topic. I might as well start, you know, vacuuming or something. But then I end up like catching a few sentences. I'm like, oh, actually, this is more interesting than I thought. I might sit down a bit, or I might, you know, do something less loud so that I can actually hear, or the chat going on in the background. We have some good laughs and fun. So yeah, it's just kind of, I like that structure. I like the information I'm getting. Some of the things, I mean, some of your streams have definitely been beneficial to my life. You know, giving me tips and things that have helped me eventually even get the job, you know, like that started on the stream with, well, and with the the chats after the stream that we were having sometimes, but helping me, you know, get more involved in different aspects of things in the board gaming community. And it's been fun. And I like hearing, different people's stories, perspectives, and about things behind the scenes that I wouldn't have necessarily known to ask about. I feel like you ask questions of people that other people aren't asking questions to. Like having someone come on and talk about love and business, or having someone come on and talk about what is the legality behind something, or having someone come on and say, okay, there's a strategy behind Twitter and Instagram. And did you know that if you're putting too many hashtags, that's a bad thing? Those are things I wouldn't have known to even ask about. So, yeah.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Alan Alton says it's the same reasons as before. A lovely start to the day. It keeps me thinking about game stuff. I can easily drift off into other things. It's fun and a lovely community for someone whose default is to stay solo in their own head. That's nice to hear. Out of curiosity, because you mentioned that there's some shows that have surprised you, in like you thought, oh, this is going to be boring, but then it was, oh, that was actually quite interesting.
Don't make me name names.
Oh, you really don't want to name names?
I mean, there've been several. Some of them might be returning guests.
But no, the ones that you've been pleasantly surprised by, I was trying to ask. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing to say, surely.
I didn't think I'd be interested in Lulvy's perspective, for example, because a lot of what they do is either things I already also do, like the ludothèque, and I'm just like, well, okay, Lulvy is involved in ludothèques, I'm involved in ludothèques, what are they going to say that's really very interesting? And then the whole tabletop thing with role-playing games and whatever, I'm not yet very into it all, and I didn't think I would be interested to hear much about it, but maybe it's because Lulvy is, an interesting person, but it ended up being interesting streams as well, and I ended up actually following the conversation and thinking more about things like safety in LARP and things where I'm like, well, I don't even do LARP, but here I am thinking about it.
And so that's
and there's
really
this
nice.
Bez person that's on almost every stream that you do. Points.
Yeah. I think that, the points game, if I started taking that seriously, if it was a competitive game and I genuinely tried to curb my enthusiasm, you would not enjoy playing that game.
We're not playing against you. It's only the chat playing. You're neutral.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I were curbing my enthusiasm, it would become just like episode 145.
Yeah, but see, then we wouldn't play it. You just lose that aspect, and we wouldn't try to make you smile and laugh anymore. And that would just be sad.
Yeah. No, there is no regular slot for Xates. Maybe there should be. Oh, Alan Paul, by the way, was down for having additional people on now because we've chatted quite a bit. If you want to join us on every other Tuesday, potentially.
Potentially. Also, Alan says Lulvy wasn't on the board game safety episode. No, it was the LARP safety episode. There were two safety episodes.
No. Alan Outson says, I didn't think Lulvy was that into, as in they weren't that enthused by it. So there was safety in board games with Lulvy, which was 138 here, and also 124. Yeah, there was one. Oh, here, 115.
The one that surprised me.
122, safety and LARP. There it is, and 138. So I think what Alan is saying is that Lulvy wasn't enthusiastic about it.
I don't think that's as much the topic that's close to them, maybe, but or maybe because it was the second one, correct? The first one was the LARP, so a lot of the things had already been talked about.
Yeah, like it was the. I'm just looking back actually. So, yeah, Lulvy's been on. I want to 67. Lulvy, 81. Lulvy talked ludothèques. Lulvy talked curation in ludothèques. then Lolvi talked LARPs, then Lolvi talked safety and LARPs, then Lolvi talked safety and board games. So yeah, Lolvi's been on 6 times, and yeah, that's what Talon Outson means. I think the issue is that it was more of a maybe conversation where we were being like, okay, let's just think about this vague thing that neither of us even know what we're talking about, and that's going to be a less comfortable conversation. I mean, this also gets me into the tone of the show. Like, should I be friendlier to guests? Because it has been noted that sometimes I ask challenging questions of guests, and some people have said this is not a thing that they have enjoyed, and is that something that you feel if a guest sometimes, I don't want my guests to go away feeling uncomfortable. That's not what I'm here to do.
But you do make it fairly clear that people can say, yeah, no comment, or I'd rather not talk about that. Maybe it's more of a culture behind interviews in general that people don't feel comfortable actually saying that then. And maybe they just need a few minutes more reassurance before the start of the stream when it's not on camera that just says, no, I seriously do mean this. This is actually really important to me. Feel free to just like say, can I reformat that question and answer something I'm more comfortable with? Or, you know, feel free to take it in a different tone, or to write to you in the private chat in StreamYard if they don't want to say it on camera that they don't like the question. And just they can just start talking about something random else while typing to you, please reformat, I don't like that, or have like a code word or something that they can just flash into private chat. Because I think maybe I don't think that's so much on you, because I do feel like you say, even at the start of the quick questionable question, quick, all those question things, you do say, you know, feel free to skip, and nobody ever skips. And I think that might just be kind of the nature of what we're trained to do in interview situations or in conversations, and not so much a result of you. So I think, yeah, if people understand that they're free to skip things, I like the challenging questions. I think a lot of the people watching like the challenging questions, and a lot of your regular guests definitely, and even some of the ones who've only been on a few times have been very comfortable going into rather personal or rather challenging topics. And that makes it unique that this space does offer those things in a safe environment. But just, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, like, it's hopefully a safe environment. So for those who don't know, on the right side of the screen, you can see, so there's comments and there's also private chat. So I'm just showing that because there has been no private chat. So if Xate were to type something up here, just, yeah, then I see it, but no one else would see it. But now, of course, everyone else sees you. But yeah, the point, like, in case people are curious, this is like the banners that have got like kind of the background. This is the show, kind of. Yeah, this is probably something I'll explain a bit more in 50 episodes. But yeah, it's almost like a series of reminders to myself that, hey, these are the things that we talk about. And here, oh, I need to check in. Are we doing a raid?
There are so many of us on screen right now. Is this how you always see things?
No, I normally see things exactly like you're seeing it right now.
Like that's too much. I don't need that much me in my life.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Alan's agreeing to the voices in their head here. But yeah, why did I think the reason that I popped that up was to say, yeah, people can tell me things, but at the same time, as you say, it's not necessarily, even if I say it's a safe space, just saying it's a safe space doesn't make it necessarily a safe space. And there's definitely work that I could do. So if you've got ideas, that's how I could improve things, let me know. I mean, I don't want to make it a show where I only do the softball questions of why is this a great mechanism? I mean, it's you when I've got Martin Wallace on, if I disagree with Martin, I'm going to disagree with Martin. I'm going to challenge them. Do you know what I mean? Just because Martin's designed a lot more games than me for many decades, yeah, they've got a lot more experience, but it doesn't mean that anyone's beyond reproach. That's just the way it feels. And I know that, I don't know, it's like when I think of other interview shows, when I think, like, you've got interview shows which are just basically about chatting, like obviously Emma's thing, Pointless Parrots podcast, which is just such a joyful bundle of energy, and arguably, like, I've lost a little bit of that. You can look at the calendar, Alan. It's there for a reason. Come on.
Spoilers.
And oh, I like the little pun here, Alan. It will happen. Anyway, just because you've got the word will in your thing, does that mean that every time we use the word will, we have to think about you?
Yes. It summons me automatically into everyone's thoughts, everyone's hearts, everyone's minds, always.
Oh, wow. Look, there's things where it's let's just chat and have a nice conversation. And when I was on Shelfapalooza, which you saw me on because you were watching the stream, and then there I was to your surprise. And so it was MMA and like lots of people being kind of interviewed by MMA, and there were a couple of questions
and ruining my bedtime.
Hey, you chose to stay up. Just because I give you fun things to watch and then you choose to watch them does not make it on me. Yes,
it's all on you. I agree.
See, this is how things get taken out of context. Like, seriously, like, should I have like streams where it's just, okay, let's have a, fun chat, and it doesn't need to be, a serious thing. Like, maybe at the end, I should be like, okay, we've got to looking forward to, but maybe as well as that, like, we could have a finishing off with a cool thing, like just, I don't know, like a cool link or something that the guest likes. Maybe is that enough positivity? Because I've been thinking, is there enough daily positivity in this show? Because I start off with positivity, like if we look at the...
I don't know. So jumping slightly forward to what don't you like and what could you improve on? I'm getting
please.
A little bit tired of the what are you looking forward to and what's your daily hope and ambition, and the same questions are starting to feel like maybe do those less often and have alternate questions. Maybe every 2 or 3 days those are the questions, and every 2 or 3 days there's different ones. Because
what would you have instead?
I don't know. I'm not as positive as you.
Because it feels like, what are you... Look, I understand if you've not had...
I mean, for your guests, it's a great question, because your guests are only on, once every, at most 2 weeks. So they're going to have different answers every time. But for those of us in chat, it's like, well, what are we looking forward to, and some of, like Tuesdays, what am I looking forward to Tuesday morning, and what am I looking forward to Tuesday night? Like, it's been less than a day. And then it starts to feel the opposite of positive, because I'm kind of like, oh, I don't actually have a real answer this time, because all the things I was looking forward to are the same things I've been looking forward to for 3 days. And then it starts to feel a little bit... Fine. I don't know. It just, maybe a few more questions would be more fun.
Manal announced and asks, what are you up to?
But mischief, always.
I mean, I could say, what are you enjoying? But what are you up to? What are you enjoying? It feels like it's parts of the recent highlights.
Right. Also, very repetitive recent highlights.
I mean, I guess for me, that's like the crux of the show, because for me it feels like, okay, even if you've had not so great a day and you say, look, my recent highlight was that I managed to take a shower this morning, or I managed to brush my teeth this morning, or I'm out of bed, that's totally cool. And like, I understand that it's opening up yourself up to vulnerability. Maybe the key is that I should put less pressure on people in chat to always respond. Maybe that's what I need to do. Because I understand people might not be wanting to make themselves as vulnerable as I constantly make myself.
Possibly.
Do you think that would be an improvement? Do you think I put too much pressure on people in chat to respond?
I don't know that it's necessarily you putting the pressure so much as, again, the whole culture behind things. It's become established that the chat also answers your questions. Therefore, we expect of ourselves and of one another that we answer the question. And it's more the culture behind the thing than the thing that's actually being said. I feel like even if you don't say, chat, put your answer in as well, that we're all going to keep doing it.
I mean, maybe I should kind of lower the bar quite a bit, because I mean, sometimes there's been days when I've struggled and I've been like, you know what, I'm looking forward to this meal, or because that's it. And like, I've struggled, and I think one day I was like, I'm maybe going to have a bit of a spice, and I was almost basically inventing something so that I could say something there. And
maybe if it's just slightly understood that you only flash up answers if they actually seem like something someone would want to have permanently on the internet. Like if someone says, looking forward to brushing my teeth because I can finally get the energy to brush my teeth, you're like, well, that's kind of personal. Maybe I won't flash that up for everyone. But if somebody's like, I'm going to a concert and I'm going to sing a duet with this famous pop star, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to flash that one up and talk about it. And so the chat is amongst themselves maybe a little bit more intimate than necessarily with the rest of the internet.
Yeah, that's a fair point, because with Twitch, at least after 2 weeks, it's gone. Whereas everything else, it's okay. I mean, like, I wonder if there could be an understood thing where, I mean, maybe I can say, if you specially want me to flash up your things, then like starts off with an exclamation mark or something. Maybe that would be really weird eventually if everything starts off with an exclamation mark. Maybe starting off with a full stop. So
that gets into, then you're probably not going to have, you'll never flash up anything for me because I just wouldn't do that. So just be like, nope.
I mean, I appreciate you appreciating that, Alex. Yeah, we've already established that it's public for a while, but it's only public for 2 weeks. And so, yes, everyone can see anything, even if I don't flash it up, but people won't be able to see it in a year's time. Whereas if I do flash it up, people would be able to see it as long as YouTube or Facebook is a thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I don't want to make it so that brushing your teeth feels like less of a big deal than going to a concert. Because sure, from one point of view, yes, brushing your teeth is a thing that people in the world have done probably more times today than going to a concert today in the past 24 hours.
I must admit, I have been to less concerts today than I have brushed my teeth today.
Yeah, I'm going. And yeah, I think Alan's kind of saying that it could be, what are you up to? and it's quite open. What are we both up to? How would we answer that question? I'd be like, right now I'm up to streaming, and
you would take
yeah.
it very literally, wouldn't you? Every single time.
I would say I would then assume, okay, maybe Alan means after this, okay, I'm going to be going back. Yeah, I'm going to be heading back to London. Going to have some fish and chips, which is something I'm looking forward to.
What excites you?
What excites you?
Because then if we don't have something current, we could always just say something else that's exciting that might not happen today, but you know, it's exciting. Like I'm excited.
What's exciting you?
Yeah. And then it could just be something you read or something you watched or something you did or something you're about to do. Could be a lot of things.
You can model it beforehand. What can we model? I sometimes do not understand Alan at all.
Only sometimes?
Yes, definitely. Sometimes I do understand Alan. So it could be exciting or important or trivial. Is this in the what are you up to thing? I mean, what are you up to? What are you up to? This little section is over to you. Yeah, I could do that and then kind of say, okay, you can talk about what's exciting you or what you're proud of or yeah, things you're up to, things you're up to.
I like the addition of something trivial, which is similar to what you've been doing Tuesday nights with this tell me something boring about yourself. I like having that option. So yeah, maybe you're going to share something exciting and something you're looking forward to. Maybe you're just going to share something trivial and just be like, you know what, actually, I do have a trivial thing. My husband decided to leave this when he moved out because I've been playing roll and rights, and it's the nicest thing he's done for me in a year. It's trivial, but it's exciting. But it's
lovely.
trivial.
That's super lovely.
I mean, to be fair, he told me to throw it away for him, but you know, I'm going to count it as a gift. And it's just like, yeah, so that's totally trivial and totally exciting at the same time. But I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to that because I mean, it's a pencil sharpener.
And yeah, if I like what Alan said actually here. I'm fairly convinced by Alan's thing. You know, I'm going to make this a change. What do you think to that, Kate? Do you think this should be a change?
I think it's a fun thing to try. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and because
I mean, you can still do your regular questions sometimes. Just change it up a bit.
No, like I will say that you could, within what are you up to, you could say what you're looking forward to, or what's, or your hopes or ambitions, or something exciting, trivial, important, or just fun.
That's going to be a long song.
Yeah, I'm not going to type up the banner right now. I'll kind of ponder the exact words afterwards. Unless you want to fill some time and explain other things that you would like changed.
Ooh, I mean, that's going to fill quite a bit of time. So I'm glad I finally.
Yes, please tell me.
Let me talk a little bit more about all the things Bez needs to change in their life. I mean, in their stream. Actually, I do have one thing talking about. I'm not supposed to be making you laugh. I forgot. We're not playing the game right now. I'm filling time so you can type. Actually, I do have one thing. Sometimes you flash things up and they're longer things and they're up for like a half a second. So I read the first 3 words and then it's gone. And if it's on Twitch, that's not a big deal because I'm on Twitch, so I can just read it myself on Twitch. But a lot of times you do it with things that Javier's written, and Javier is not on Twitch. And so then I don't know what the rest of that block of words was unless I go open Facebook and find it, or open YouTube and find it. So I think be a little bit more aware of if you're flashing something up and it's longer, that we actually have the time to read the thing that you flashed up, or just don't flash it up. Because, I mean, if it's important enough to get flashed up, then I want to know what it says. I get really invested. I'm halfway through the sentence. I'm like, oh, that sounds like an interesting, wait, what? And that happens quite a bit. And similarly, you also sometimes flash up things that are just irrelevant because you don't even understand them. And it's someone saying, and you flash up, and you say, I don't know what this is replying to. Why did you say, what is this, about? And just like, well, then don't flash it up if you don't understand it and it's just I mean, if you don't understand it and it's something that could be interesting, like if Alan wrote, "It's what teachers do for their students," and you don't remember the context and you flash it up, that's an interesting question. So to ask back, "Hey, Alan, what is a thing teachers do for their students? I'm sorry, don't get the context. I want to know more about this." And that's also maybe something that we as chat should pay a little bit more attention to, knowing the lag, that if it is something that we think is important to actually tell you, that maybe we use better sentence structure and say, not just it's what teachers do for their students, but giving examples is something teachers do for their students just to help you out a bit. But we're bad at that because we're just chat, we're not professional chatters yet until somebody makes that into a paid job. By the way, if anyone is paying people to be a chatter, I would be interested in the position. My references are Bez. Yeah, actually, pretty much that's just it. My references are Bez. So, have I given you enough time or should I blether on? I can keep blethering. That's not a problem. So, more things that Bez could do to improve upon. I feel like they really do need some more board gaming apparel around their apartment. I mean, just constantly looking back at this wall of mirrors and chandelier and empty cardboard boxes. Although the cardboard boxes are very on brand for a board game person. Honestly, I just redid my shelves after Shelfapalooza and did actually find a home for my cardboard boxes. It's an entire bottom shelf that is now full of cardboard boxes. But I feel like, a real board gamer has to have a calyx. And I'm totally kidding. Please don't get a calyx and fill it with board games and film in front of it, because that's really getting to kind of a cliche in the board gaming world. So please don't do that. So
do you actually think I need more board gaming stuff in the background?
No. But I am slightly annoyed by your chandelier. Because of the way the camera angle is.
Only when I turn it on.
Only when it's on, which is usually the evening stream. But the angle, and then it's also mirrored, it's getting light and then double light.
I have stopped turning it on for the evening streams.
See, that's an improvement already done. Check.
And
the chat didn't offer anything during that, except that Alan would also care to get paid for chatting.
Yes, and you can be part of a company called Chats R Us.
I'm part of a more highbrow company. Chatter Us is kind of, the Toys R Us of chatters. I'm more exclusive. If you want to have me chat, it's going to be a top dollar chat.
So apparently we want to have you on to talk. Oh, that could be an interesting idea for a topic. Generally, the backgrounds of people who chat about board games. Because, Tom Vassal's got that kind of graffiti-inspired background. Like, we've got people who do have the calyx. We've got Paul Grogan, who has, like, a plain wall, but then with about 3 board games, like, tastefully placed, which Paul Grogan, like, chooses specific board games. I think that's really cool.
I opted for my green wall. To not be...
I like your solid green wall.
I do, too. And, I mean, otherwise, I could have, just positioned myself in front of my board games. That would have also been a viable option. They might be slightly biased towards a certain type of game. Oh no, is that the L deck right in the middle of all my Scythe stuff? How did that happen? Yeah, that was just totally me bragging about the fact that I now have Scythe metal mechs.
So, yeah, that's actually a lot of... Dave Clark's was apparently super impressive. I can't remember what Dave Clark's thing was. I
don't know who that is.
That was episode... here we go. I will put it on. This is... I think Dave came on a little bit late here.
Oh, yeah. I like that guy. He was fun.
Oh, because it was a little bit blurry.
I'm very, very bad with names, so I never know who you're talking about until I see the face. And I'm like,
Yeah, I like how Dave's camera was blurring all the background. And you can see there my regular background of, the chandelier, the mirror, the cardboard boxes. Yep.
I mean, the cardboard boxes are very on brand.
I mean, yeah, so on the left you can see villagers there, and then also a whole bunch of games in the background that you can't really identify. Yeah, that could be a whole chat. Like, frankly, we only really need to chat for... Anyway, seriously, this has been super useful. Yeah, I am going to take a lot of notes of this. I'm going to trying to stop flashing up irrelevant stuff. Sometimes I feel like I have to acknowledge it, do you know what I mean? Like, maybe
I don't think you do.
Because you and Alex and Alan, I guess, are already somewhat invested, maybe I don't have to acknowledge it so much, whereas if someone pops in and says hi, I probably should, acknowledge them because they've just popped in.
That's not irrelevant. That's someone saying hi. But like, if Jeroen and I are going off on some wild tangent, back and forthing each other at each other.
Okay, so there have been times when I've flashed up something for literally like half a second, because something has moved up, and so sometimes with the comments,
you misclick.
So basically, what happens is if I've got it, if people are typing really quickly, and then I click, it might be that the comments, when my finger is about to go down, then by the time that my finger is actually down, then it's changed. Do you see what I mean?
I mean, that's the dexterity element of Twitch streaming. I think you just need to work on your gaming skills.
Yeah, to be fair, like if I brought it up a little bit, I think it would stop the scroll. So maybe I just need to get into the habits of doing that, especially if it's a busy day, because I want people to chat. I love, you having these side conversations. I love seeing, your kind of little tangents.
We love having them.
Aw. Anyway, and I will flash stuff up for longer. It sounds like, yeah, can you let me know in general when it's been too short, if you know what I mean, so I can know if it's...
And then you'll flash up a comment saying that was too short and be like, I don't know what this is referencing. I'm going meta on you now.
You can just write too short and I will understand it, because now we've had this conversation, we'll have this understanding.
So, connection.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think this is... Does anyone have anything else that they would like to say, that they would like to be changed? In terms of the tone, like whether I should be friendlier or shorter, or
Sorry, I was distracted.
You're saying no.
To a comment, not to you.
They had their game. I don't see any
worry.
comments. Oh, private message. Okay. Look, if no one else has, please, I do want to say, if you've got comments that you would like to share, please do share them. This is like your fortnightly reminder that I do genuinely appreciate constructive criticism. I'm really happy that Alan Outson's pitching in ideas. I really appreciate you kind of giving me feedback, Sate. And we've got a suggestion for a name for Will's Wild Weekender Fortnightly slots featuring Sate.
I'm not Will, though. I'm Sate. So you're going to have to come up with an alliteration with 3 to 4 X's in it.
Yeah, and...
there you go.
Sates, xenophilic, xylums.
Now that's just rude.
Are you saying you don't love odd things?
I mean, no. I just like very basic, normal.
Okay, anyway. So, I think, I feel like, does this section need a song as well?
I don't think it needs a recap at all.
Let's recap and recap. So, yeah, this has been a ridiculous episode. We've not come... I mean, this has been a very self-serving episode, let's be honest. Where is the switch? Sorry, there's some echo. Can you? I'm going to mute you for a second because it's okay. Okay, great. It's changed. Right. Oh, weird. Anyway, so we started off talking about brilliant things. I think we talked about keys. We talked about all sorts of games that we've been playing. And then I was like, yeah, I've been enjoying the Lake District. It's been really nice. And doing a little bit less work, trying to stay away from the computer sometimes. I said that basically I'm planning to do this for quite a while. I'm feeling generally good. I'm feeling generally positive. And then we got so many great suggestions. We got like suggestions to talk about like asking what's exciting you, what are you up to, and instead of just like what are you hoping for. And then we got the suggestion of flashing up stuff for longer and to not flash up irrelevant stuff, which is really good feedback. Thank you, Xate and Alan, for that. And so, yeah, I hope that you are generally well. I'd name it as just thank you and do the recap then. But it's also, I want to give the guests the chance. I mean, I don't consider you as a guest here. You're just kind of chat coming on to.
Wow. I'm just chat bought and paid for at ChatRS. You know, just
chat Soros.
Yeah. I see how it is, Des.
No, I mean, it's a nice point to say, hey, do we have anything left to say? But then the links come afterwards. I don't know, maybe the wrap up should come after the it feels like I enjoy doing the recap when it's been a more full episode, when we've got like a page full of notes, especially when it's something like Dina's episode, where it's like actually we've got a lot to cover and to remind myself of. That feels like a good. Yeah, I don't understand why you wouldn't want that. I'm not here to say that's a terrible idea. I just don't understand it. I guess that's what I'm saying. So if you can explain more clearly why you would want that changed, then please tell me.
I like the recap when it's been a full episode of a lot of information, but if it's just someone talking about themselves, or you know, if it's just less informational and more relational, I don't feel I need a recap.
That's a good rhyme. Information versus relational. Man, I like those words.
I've been listening to too many Bez shows. I'm starting to rhyme unintentionally.
Yes, and you do it frivolously.
I'm not going to say another word ending in Lee.
Except that you did, nope. Just to be friendly.
I would never do such a thing, honestly.
I think you're continuing on, and we should end this, perhaps quickly.
I think that's a very thing to do joyously.
It is a thing to do, perhaps deliberately.
Yes, very agreeably.
And Alan, now I understand what you've said to me. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you for that information. And thank you for everything. As we properly wrap up. Oh, Sierra Jane is playing. I want to thank everyone who's around, and thank you to anyone who's. Ooh, yeah, I see what Alan's saying. Like, thank you should be its own section, shouldn't it?
I don't know.
I'm going to change that for next episode. Separate thank you.
I'm not a fan of the thank yous. But that's just me. I feel
You
like
don't like being thanked?
not particularly, no. And then there's the odd time where you forget one person, and that just feels like being thanked isn't as important as being acknowledged at some point during the stream. And you do a very good job of acknowledging everyone at some point during the stream anyway. So at the end, if you're thanking everybody and maybe you forget to say, Aquasulas or whatever, then it's like, oh, they thanked everyone but me. But if at some point, if at several points during the stream you've interacted with everyone, flashed up something they've said or said hello or done something, then that's already its own type of thanks. And a lot of times by the time it gets to the thank yous, half the people are already offline anyway. And so then, yeah. But that's just me. Maybe other people really enjoy getting that thank you. I mean.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. I mean, tell me in the chat what you think about being thanked. And also, because I can see whose names are in the, what's the words, lurking, yeah. I can see the names of people who are lurking, but I don't want to call them out because maybe they don't want to be acknowledged.
And you can't see the ones who've been there the whole stream. You only see the ones who are there at the moment when you refresh.
Yes,
so
correct. And of course on Twitch, I can't see the people who've been there on Facebook or YouTube, and sometimes I've forgotten Javier, and I feel bad about that. Do you think it's about time to, like, Alan, Alan has some private thanks.
I mean, maybe just thank specifically people who've been new and active. If they've only been there 1 or 2 times and they've started to become more active, then maybe calling out a thank you to them would be something special. But saying, thank you to me and Alan and Aquasulas every single time, yeah, we're always there. We're going to be there even if you don't thank us. Aww. I'm just going to speak for the Allens too,
Aww.
But, if somebody's new and they've been saying some things, just encourage them. Yeah, we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining. That could be something special, and that carries a little bit more weight, at least in my opinion, than if you're one name in a list of 20 names that you're obviously looking back through the chat to find. Doesn't feel quite as special as if you say, hey, Alan Outen, you commented today for the first time. It's so great to finally see you participating. I've seen you lurking a while. I'm glad to have that interaction. Thank you for joining us. Then, Alan Allen's going to be like, wow, I got noticed today. And Alan, thank you for being there today. It was really special.
Alan does like being thanked, apparently. I mean, apparently you don't care about being thanked. So
you can just leave me off, I guess. That'd be even funnier for all the people who are like, oh, that Will Cook person says so much and Bez just totally ignored them.
I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Alan and Ross and Alex, but that's Will Cook. Anyway, so thank you everyone, but not especially Will Cook.
Perfect.
Yeah, you have changed me. I did not used to tease people so much.
What? Why do you assume that comes from me? I'm a genuine, heartfelt, loving, caring person. I'm nothing but sincere and kind. Yes, you're hurting my feelings here. No.
Anyway, yeah, we have nothing else to say. So that has been the end of the recap and wrap up. If you wish to find me, I am stuffbybez.com, stuffbybez.com.bigcardsall.com. I'm stuffbybez.bigcardsall.com if you wish to buy my stuff. Twitter.com/stuffbybez where I share the most information. Instagram.com/stuffbybez is on hiatus until my phone fixes itself or gets fixed. Twitch.tv/stuffbybez where I stream. Facebook.com/thingsbybez is a thing, and stuffbybez@gmail.com is my email address if you wish to get in contact that way. And
if your phone does fix itself, please let us know what type of phone it is and how we can get one, because that just sounds impressive.
Yeah, I'm also going to ask Chris to look at it on Wednesday and also go to a store. I'm going to make an appointment. But yeah, a bit bummed about it, to be honest, because it's not great not being able to share voice or phone people on WhatsApp or share video or yeah. I had a really cool song that I wanted to share with people. It was about it was inspired very much by Elaine.
Okay.
Anyway, maybe I'll do a show, like an entire show. Oh, I wonder if Elaine would
Wait,
come on
is it
to the
the
show.
song that Elaine posted about that you posted somewhere, the link, the video? Because I
No,
actually
I've.
watched that because she mentioned it on your show and you then posted the link. So
Oh, do you mean my thing about waiting? Like,
I don't remember.
do you want that I did? If we go to, I'm going
She
to.
mentioned the song by someone for some reason, I don't even know why, and then you posted it later on social media because you enjoyed it.
Oh no, this is a song that I did. So.
Oh. Well, I mean, you could just sing it for us now. My hope and ambition for today is that you sing it for us now.
Oh, so actually I've got the lyrics written down, so I can share the screen so you can see the lyrics as well. Hey, why isn't my share screen button working? Some new share screen button. Okay, it's the end of the chats anyway. Sometimes it's... No, I can't remember the melody. This is why I need... Okay, I'm going to go back and play the song and you can hear it, I guess. It's basically on Twitter, and if you search for hashtag best song, then you will find it, I guess. Am I frozen for everyone?
No, not for me. And also
Okay,
not
great.
on my Twitch. You're a little bit jumpy, but not frozen.
Yeah, I think the internet is not enough for me to be able to do this bit here. Oh. I'm just going to finish this by saying thank you to everyone. I want to thank everyone, especially like the amazing moderators, and yeah, maybe does it make sense to kind of call out specifically, like thank you, say Talon, Alex, for like how you dealt with like some of the chats earlier on today. I think that was like really respectful. Is that like a thing you'd like to be thanked for?
I feel like asking to be thanked for something is more awkward than it either happening or not. Like,
Yeah, Alan likes being thanked. So
Alan did a great job with moderating those comments earlier.
Thank you for being awesome moderators. Thank you for
just say Alan in every second sentence. I don't think it has to have a context.
Yeah, thank you everyone, Alan. Yeah, and yeah, Alan. I just want to say thank you to Alan, everyone. And Alan, thank Alan, you, Alan. Everyone, Alan.
I hope everyone has an Alan day. that you enjoy the weather and the Alan. And that everyone's weekend is full of lots of Alan.
In all seriousness, thank you to everyone who continues to watch, everyone who's jumped in, is lurking, and yeah. Alan, 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 Alan.
Definitely. All of that.
So, it's time to go over to you. What are you up to? Over to you. What are you up to?
That does not sound... What are you up to, young lady? Sounds like something my parents used to say when I was in trouble.
What are you up? Yeah.
I mean, I was never up to anything bad because.
So, is there anything you would like to share Is there something you're looking forward to, or hopes and ambitions? Or is there something you just want to share, something exciting or trivial, important, or just fun? Maybe I should be over to you.
I am hopefully going to play some games today, but I don't actually have much planned except later this afternoon a planning meeting that I'm excited about for a new channel that may or may not be happening here on Twitch that I may or may not share more about later.
Ooh. And yeah, we've got people who are excited about just getting out of bed finally after a long, lazy morning. And I'm excited. I'm somewhat excited to have fish and chips, and before I return to London. And yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I would like some of that fish and chips. It sounds really appealing right now.
But should we read? Let me quickly check Twitch and see.
I shouldn't have taught you about raids.
Oh, Sierra Jane DJ. Nah, let's skip it today. Why are you regretting that? Are you being sincere?
I don't know. Just...
So over to you. Tell us what you're up to. It might be big or just going for a poo.
No. No. Please no.
You don't want to hear about people's toilet habits?
I do not. And I'm surprised that so many British people do.
Yeah. It is definitely a weird thing in many ways. I'm going to suggest that if anyone wants, I see Sarah Jane DJs playing. I enjoyed a bunch of their music yesterday for a wee bit, so I'm going to nominate that as a raid. And there is, of course, only one thing left to do. Oh wait, share, spread the word. If you want next streams, look at stuffabez.com/streams. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow? I can't remember.
Tomorrow is Sunday.
And oh yeah,
you're supposed to do boring things.
We're comparing comics to board games with Ryan Estrada, my old friend and nemesis.
Ooh, nemesis.
Yeah, fake nemesis technically, but don't tell anyone. Oops.
I thought I was your nemesis. I'll have to work on that.
You never were. I'm sorry. But I still love you.
I wasn't yet.
For now, will next episode Xate usurp Bez? Will Xate demolish Bez? Or will Bez and Xate never actually become nemesis at all? Aww. Find out. Potentially never. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to...
What? What is it time to do?
Go.
Actually, technically, Johnny